your main job is to get the facts out and keep government accountable. So today's press conference, we'll talk about the October 7th officer-involved shooting. The purpose of the press conference is transparency and to provide clarifying details to the media and the public and everyone that wants the information. An important point here is there's some things I will not be getting into about the case. The case is currently under investigation by Lorain Police Department, and Captain Lance is here, and he may give some comments after we're done with our presentation to the media and answer some questions. Very important case for law enforcement use of force is Graham v. Connor. It basically says a three-factor test for consideration the reasonableness of use of force by officers, and that is severity of the crime, the threat of safety to officers and the public, and whether a suspect is actively resisting. Another important case is the state of Taylor versus Salt Lake City. This case spoke about the split-second decisions that we have to make on scenes of incidents that there's not a lot of time to process or not a lot of time to make an operational plan or to think through what we're going to do. There's four factors that pretty much guide whether a suspect poses a credible threat or not. And we kind of talked about it in Graham v. Connor, but whether the officer ordered the suspect to drop his weapon and the suspect's compliance or non-compliance, whether any hostile motions were made with the weapon towards the officers, the distance separating the officers and the suspect, and the intentions of the suspect if we can determine them at the time. Ohio Revised Code 2911.01, aggravated robbery. No person in attempting or committing a theft offense, as defined by the ORC 2913.01, or in fleeing immediately after the attempt or offense, shall do any of the following. That's very important. It's a very important phrase right there. 1, have a deadly weapon on or about the offender's person or under the offender's control, and either display the weapon, brandish the weapon, indicate that the offender possesses it or uses it. So even the mere motion of reaching for your waistband or like a shoulder holster or reaching for a weapon, that's all within this law. A deadly weapon. It's pretty much anything that can inflict serious injury or death to somebody. In this case here, it's a gun. Officer Isaiah Taylor, he is the officer that engaged the suspect, and he's the one that used deadly force. He's been here since 2019, and I believe it's about 5 years of service with us. He's currently a field training officer, and he serves as a mentor to our young officers. Dustin Lee Terry is a suspect. 26-year-old male. He has a history dating back to 2016 for drugs, theft, and weapons violations. He currently has had active warrants for failure to appear, for DUS and traffic charges. Funny enough, he completed a 1 year of good behavior, probation type 1 year good behavior, on October 6th, 5 minutes before he did this offense. Now, whether he planned that or just timing, I don't know. His criminal history, the suspect in 5 separate cases since 2016. 3 have been drug investigations, 1 theft, and 1 weapons violation, which he was on that 1 year good behavior probation on the weapons violation through our department. Sienna Plaza. For lack of a better way to put it, she was the getaway driver. She transported him to the scene. She has a prior history of assault through our department, and she provided the firearm to Terry. The actual incident details. October 7th, 2024 at 12:05 a.m. Again, 5 minutes after his 1 year of probation ended. It happened at 1321 West 17th Street in Lorain. At the same date and time, Lorain County 911 operators received a call from a resident at 1300 block of West 17th Street. She stated that she saw, through her live home surveillance camera, a white male wearing all black clothing breaking into her vehicle, which was parked in her driveway. She also stated in the phone call that she believed the male was in possession of a gun. Now we're going to play the 911 call for you guys. And we have to play it more than once. Someone raise your hand and we'll play it again.
Please. There's somebody breaking into my car. Okay, what is your address? 1317 West 17th Street. 1317 West 17th, and are you just watching them right outside? No, I have a camera. I can see what's going on. Are you at home though? Yes, I am. And this is going on right now? Yes, it is. Okay, what kind of car is it? It's a Chevy Cruze. Okay, what color? White. Is it parked in the driveway? Yes, well kind of, it's in the grass, but it's next to the driveway. You said, so is it in the driveway? Yes, it is. Okay. Can you tell if that person's black, white, Hispanic? He's white. He's wearing all black. With hair and brown eyes. Okay. And do you, and is it like real time you're watching? Yes. Okay, he already ran. He opened the car, and there is another car. It's a white vehicle. I cannot see anything in the vehicle. Okay, what direction did he go running? Okay, he's not running. He's still by the vehicle. He's by the car. He's he's looking around. I'm pretty sure he's armed, too, and he's looking around my house. Okay, okay, ma'am, why do you think he's armed? Because he has something on his hand, I'm pretty sure. You said he has something in his hand? Yes. Yes. Sorry, I'm not going to watch that much because the camera, it'll have to alert, and it goes off, so I don't want to. Okay, ma'am, we need to go back to what is in his hand. What makes you think it's a gun? I don't know. It was sticking out, and it looks like a gun. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to freak you out. This is just get in the house, because I can hear movement outside of my sleep. Okay. Alright, if he takes off, I need you to tell me what direction. Now, do you see any suspicious cars, anything like that around? There was just that in front of the house. I'm sorry? There was a white vehicle in front of my house. There's a white vehicle you don't recognize in front of your house? Yes. I don't recognize it. Okay. He hasn't set up the camera again, so he's not in front of the house. But I can hear movement on my side of the house, which is the right side. You said you can hear movement that somebody else is around the house? Yes. Okay. Okay. Am I able to go get my parents? I'm sorry? Am I able to go get my parents? Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and faster than team. We're going to go ahead and disconnect. They will come in contact with you, okay? Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
The dispatcher did a great job asking all the questions and drawing them out of her. The complainant was actually very calm considering what was going on in her house. The person with a gun looked like a gun. So they both did a really good job giving us information. Right here is the suspect breaking into the car. This is what he stole out of the car after he broke into the car. Officer Taylor was the first to arrive on the scene, and he began checking the caller's vehicle. Officer Croucher, he arrived, I believe, second, and he spoke with Mrs. Plaza, who was in the white vehicle out front of the house. You'll hear that he asked her some questions if she saw anybody out there, but she purposely gave false answers to mislead the officers. And she said that people were down the road a little bit by a silver car, hoping that we would respond there immediately instead of staying where they were at to investigate. Our officers thought something was suspicious, and they stayed put, and they did more investigation at the scene of the vehicle break-in. As they were checking the vehicle in the surrounding area, the white male wearing all black clothing and a bandana covering half his face, he walked out from the backyard from behind the house. Officer Taylor first spotted the suspect, known now as Terry, walking down the driveway, and he immediately began giving commands to Terry to put his hands up, and in a couple other directions he gave him about being tased. He also announced that he was from the police department, so he was identified. At the same time as Terry was walking, Officer Croucher observed a handgun in Terry's right hand and immediately began yelling, "Terry, drop the gun, drop the gun." At the same time, again, Officer Taylor deployed his taser, but it was ineffective, and the suspect, Terry, he took off running. Taylor engaged in a foot pursuit while other officers were converging from different locations, and you'll see on a different slide the officers did a great job spreading out and kind of encapsulating the whole entire area so he couldn't escape. During the foot chase, foot pursuit, Terry continuously brandished the gun in the direction of the pursuing officers, specifically Officer Reese in his direction. Just prior to Officer Taylor discharging his duty weapon, Terry was still brandishing the gun and begins to turn towards Officer Reese, who was immediately behind him. Officer Taylor fired 5 shots at Terry, neutralizing the imminent threat he posed to our officers and others in the area. Officers on scene secured Terry in handcuffs, so he no longer posed a threat. He was conscious. He was still able to move his hands, to move about. He still had all faculties about him, so he still posed a threat until he was secured. Terry was transported to Mercy Hospital and later transported to Cleveland Metro, where he was treated for multiple gunshot wounds. Since then, he's been released and currently in the county jail for aggravated robbery, felony 1, carrying concealed weapons, resisting arrest, and obstructing official business, and there's possibly some other charges coming after the investigation is over. Sienna Plaza, she was charged and booked in the county jail on charges of complicity to aggravated robbery, which is also a felony 1. Again, the incident remains under investigation by the Elyria Police Department, and additional charges may be forthcoming. And as you all may recall at all my press conferences, it's imperative that we have transparency. So we don't do our own investigations. We call other departments to come in and do it, and they have total control of the investigation. We don't take part in it. We only do what they ask us to do and provide what information they asked us to provide when they ask it. So we don't get involved at all. Here is the gun that he was carrying and brandished and then later dropped after he was shot by officer. This is an overall view of where everyone started from. Terry was actually back here initially, somewhere back here. We have no idea exactly where he was back here. But when Officer Taylor first spotted Terry, Terry was right here where the yellow dot is. Taylor was right here. Krauser was right here. Reese just arrived, and Sergeant Perkins just arrived. And Plaza's car, she was parked right here. Yep, and now you're going to see an animation of where everybody went until Terry was neutralized. So if you need to see this multiple times, just somebody again raise your hand so we can play it again, because it's kind of confusing the first time you watch it. So we want to make sure you have a clear view of what everyone was doing. See it again? Yeah. Do it again. Okay. Just do it one more time. Now, special note here, Sergeant Perkins, he came around the house this way, and when you see the body cam footage, you're going to understand what happened and why it happened. But Sergeant Perkins and Officer Reese, you'll see were directly in the line of fire, and had Officer Taylor waited any longer to neutralize the threat, it is very possible that Terry may have engaged Sergeant Perkins, who surprised him around the corner, or these officers came here and there was a gunfight, and there was multiple friendly officers in opposite directions for crossfire issues. So this information here is from Elyria Police Department. We didn't have this information initially. But Sienna Plaza, she confessed to providing Terry with the firearm, and she also confessed to transporting him to the location. The stolen tool was discovered inside the trunk of the vehicle utilized by Plaza, the one that she occupied. Body-worn camera videos. We're going to go through a series of videos. We're going to play them full steam. We're going to repeat them full steam. Then we're going to go backwards to a slow motion version of it, and we'll repeat it as many times as we need to for y'all to get the clear picture of it. There's some foul language here. It is what it is.
Are you the caller?
I'm actually waiting on my dad. My hose just fell in front of my car.
Okay.
So I think like
Have you seen anybody over here in a toy car?
where?
Is there a toy car over here?
No, but they were walking over there when I drove her car.
Okay. And then she said that they're walking down there by that silver car somewhere.
That was just, he didn't have a flashlight with him or on at the time. That's why it's so dark. But the main point of this first clip is to show that the Plaza purposely misled the officers on scene to say that the people walking or around the area were down by the different car a few houses away. So that's the point of this right here. So the body camera footage again. So as I said in multiple press conferences that I have, that the body cameras, they tell a story. It's not always the 100% the way things went, because convex lens in the body camera is much like a peephole in the door. It's kind of round. It's a round shape, and the distances and everything is distorted. So you don't see a true, like, one-dimensional type when an officer's on scene. You don't see it true like us looking at you directly. What helped us here is we had multiple cameras on scene when the incident happened. So because we had so many different vantage points, we were able to put it all together for you and show the true incident and how it happened because we had so many body cameras there. So that's always a point I want to bring up. It doesn't always tell the correct story until you have multiple in the area and you're able to analyze all of them and put them all together at one time. This is Officer Krauscher, body cam. He was down, if you remember the other slide, he was down by the car, by the street in the driveway initially.
Let me see your hand. Hey, drop the fucking gun. Drop the gun.
What did anybody hear there? Did you guys hear a taser go off? Need to hear it? You need to see it again real quick? Do it again. So, just another point here is when the taser went off, the incident ended, neutralized the suspect within 5 seconds. That's very fast. Not a lot of time to do a lot of processing and making a plan together. They did so well because of their training. They're trained to dissect and to act as soon as possible, and these guys did a great job doing it. So you heard tasers a pop and a kind of a like electrical charge, which didn't, one probe hit and one probe did not hit, so it didn't get a good connection. So it was ineffective.
Let me see your hand. Hey, drop the fucking gun. Drop the gun.
This is a slow motion version of the same video. You guys see?